Sunday, 21st of October 2018. Must admit, sometimes I think I'm in June, other times I think I'm in September. So I'm not sure what that's saying about time. Anyway, let's see what comes. Again, I'm conscious of people and perhaps thinking that they're being filmed, which is making me conscious. I may not be bothered at all, but I'd probably be bothered if I saw someone holding a camera as I am walking down the street. So what comes? The power of one. Not the power of now, not the power of positive thinking, but the power of one. I don't know why. Well, I do know why the American, or the attempted American accent comes on. It's because we see, whoever may be listening from America, and I say we, maybe it's I, see Americans as very positive. So much so that when I was growing up in Northern Ireland, some preachers, particularly of the Pentecostal persuasion, started to say God instead of God. And even I was known to develop. I guess it was with the TV evangelists, the Oral Roberts, the Billy Grahams even, although he wasn't Pentecostal, the Kenneth Copelands and the Benny Hinns, the Jimmy Swaggart. So I think we liked the punch of the style. Of course, you have T.D. Jakes and Joyce Meyer, who become popular outside of church circles. Indeed, you'll find their books in normal secular bookstores. Anyway, back to the power of one. I was having a conversation with one of the kids this morning who was getting a little bit upset because they thought they may be the only one in the children's class. And indeed they were. But it got me thinking about the one. So I was trying to say to Will, if you weren't here, that other person would be alone. So that would make the difference. I'm not sure she was convinced. But in the main meeting, someone spoke about the march in London yesterday to do with the people's vote. So there's a movement in the UK at the moment to look at a people's vote on the terms of Brexit. It's not intended to be partisan, although I think it's probably perceived as mainly those who want to remain part of the European Union. Quite attractive in some ways that we all have a say in what the final deal is. Anyway, the individual that was speaking was saying that she was largely on her own but felt part of the whole. And that must have triggered my thinking about the power of one. I guess one of the images that's very powerful about the one is the guy in Tiananmen Square, Beijing. What was it, 20, 30 years ago? To do with the protesting for democracy and how he stopped a tank. You can think of Rosa Parks, the black woman in America who refused to acknowledge the segregation laws, but started the bus protest movement, well, as a result of her action. So the individual is very powerful, depending on what the individual's doing. The power can go either way. It could be power for the good or power for the not so good. One thing about biblical stories, whether the Hebrew Bible or the Christian New Testament, is that they did center a lot on one. Sin came into the world through one man, Adam. The world is saved through one man, Jesus. Stories of Moses being prepared to lead his people out of Egypt. David being prepared to take on Goliath. Right up to today, where it's an individual that kind of says enough is enough, or something's not right and I'm going to do something about it. They may stand alone, or they may find that others join in with them. In summary, really, the story of the starfish is a good one, where there's a woman on the coast and all these starfish have been swept onto the shore. Don't know the detail, but they need to get back to the sea, otherwise they'll die. So she's throwing one by one in, and this guy comes along and says, well, that's not going to make much of a difference. And she continues to throw one in. He says, it makes a difference to that one, it makes a difference to that one, it makes a difference to that one. And so it is with us, whether it's in a friendship, whatever, that we have a power, the power of one.